Good morning, family. Yes, I still have my Chibo Mato t-shirt on. Chibo Mato. Chibo Mato. Love that band. Should have bought their album when it was around on vinyl. You never see it now. Hey, folks. I am just really, really loving the VC. It is so real. You know what I'm saying? And the latest stuff that we've been talking about in regards to Dave's contest is fantastic. Because what is happening is what I hope to have happen, which is to elicit further intelligent, mature discussion. That's what I'm looking to stir up. Not a bunch of shit. Not at all. That's going to happen. But something that occurs to me is all the time is when I see media, which is inescapable. Media is the source of our culture. It is. It's what tells people how to be. And the thing that I notice is we talk about problems, but I don't see a lot of behavior demonstrating resolve or answers. That is part of what I'm trying to do by being the way I am. I'm trying to be a living example of what I want from the rest of this fucked up world, which is some patience, some intelligence, some tolerance, some clarity, and maybe a step more towards realism. It does have a lot to do with my point of view, which is if we don't break out of our nostalgic reverie, we can never move forward in creating new solutions. I personally see a direct connection between popular culture and the things that we choose to focus on and our lack of vision towards solving things. We keep doing the same things over and over again, thinking they're going to work, and they never do, which to me is reflected in a lot of the music that we listen to, which for me is a lot of it is stuck in the past, or romantic notions of the way things are that don't reflect anything that will push us forward. Now, all that stated is none of that needs to be relevant when you're listening to records. When you're playing records, you're playing records. When you're playing music, you're doing what you're doing. I'm just telling you that from my perspective, that I see the connection, always see the connection. And I just know that it has helped me personally to diversify and to challenge my listening habits and to go further outside my comfort zone. It's helped me immensely to understand this world, understand myself, and to understand people who are different from me. So I'm really happy at the reaction to my comments. I will say in the video that I'm sorry to you, Nathan, if you were offended by my comments about Elvis, but there are no sacred cows in this house. Elvis is not sacred here, and neither is Bruce Springsteen. They're just humans, and I have an opinion about him, and it's just all it is an opinion. But again, what I had said about Elvis's role as the Great White Hope, I didn't make that up, and I had to live with that as a kid, in my face, that Elvis represented the fact that my blackness, the essence of my blackness was wanted, but my black ass was not. That's quite a message to be receiving as a little child. Okay. I'm 56, so I'll be 57 in a month. It's pretty obvious it had a pretty deep impression on me. And Elvis has a lot to do with that. Isn't it interesting that in spite of all that, I can still love and listen to all kinds of music, including Elvis? Yesterday, I spent the day working on music, And it was work, because sometimes when emotions are rolling, and it is true that a lot of times good music comes out of emotional states. Um, Life is calm and smooth, which I like, so there's not a lot to express emotionally. There's not a lot to be cathartic about. And so when that's the case, I have to work harder at just, following ideas. So I started a couple of ideas yesterday. I won't post them yet because I have a long way to go before it's worth listening to. And now that Dereck 2 is on its way to being completed in a vinyl form, I do have a sense of inner challenge where I want to go deeper in the creative process, which means more work on my part. So that's what I did yesterday. I worked, and I also didn't approach it the usual way. I wonder if, Chris Oliver, if you have a usual way of approaching it. It seems like you're pretty prolific. It also seems like I get the idea that your ideas come fairly formed in the head and you move from part to part recording it. Whereas for me, the parts kind of have to reveal themselves. I mean, it's like when a complete song or when real strong parts come to me, that's a real gift. Otherwise, I have to kind of pull it out of the ether. I wonder if you might want to talk about that a little bit, Chris, sometime in one of your videos. Regarding music, Vinyl Flesh asked me to talk about McCoy Tyner, or show me McCoy Tyner. I was wanting to maybe listen, because I haven't listened to much McCoy in a while, but I'll show what I have, because I only have a few albums. And McCoy Tyner has a bunch. He's got a bunch of records. And again, some of his best work is obviously with John Coltrane. I had the great pleasure of seeing McCoy Tyner many, many years ago. This is one of those things that I lost when my old house was burglarized. I had recorded the concert on cassette, and one time when my old house was burglarized, they took a bunch of my music, including cassettes. That's one of the cassettes that I lost. It's irreplaceable. So this is what little bit of McCoy Tyner I have to show you. Song of the New World. Again, I haven't played these in a long time, so I'm just going to show them. If something pops in my mind to say, I will, but mostly I haven't listened. Focal Point. So just like I referred someone else to Anders in Stockholm for Ornette Coleman, and I watched his video, and no doubt Anders is the man to go for jazz. He's one of the experts to go to for jazz. Just like I would say, it appears that Teddy is an expert on the blues. So those are people that I recognize as experts in their fields. Anders in jazz, Teddy in the blues. Now, I'm not sure this, but I get the impression that Dr. Deadwax, that you're an expert when it comes to technical matters, audiophile-wise. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, this is one that I've listened to a lot in the past, Sahara. So that much I can say. This is one I like a lot, Sahara. Always plays with great cats, Alphonse Mouzon and Sonny Fortuno on here. Here's a compilation, Greatest Moments with McCoy Tyner on Impulse. And it's stuff that's on other albums, but it's a double album. If you see this cheap, this probably would be a good way to go to get familiar with McCoy. Here's another one that I like, Time for Tyner. He's got Bobby Hutcherson, Herbie Lewis, and Freddie Waits on this with him. Some Blue Note. Last one I have is Super Trios on Milestone. And this was given to me. I don't know that I've actually ever played this all the way through. Excuse me. But he's got, what am I saying? I better listen to this. Tony Williams and Ron Carter, Jack DeJohnette and Eddie Gomez. Tony Williams is always a treat to listen to, so this stays out. One thing I did listen to yesterday, last night. Well, two things. I actually played two records yesterday. Yesterday morning, I posted it on YouTube Vinyl Community, Terra Melos. And I saw these guys last year, Patagonian Rats. I really liked it. Really liked it. Kind of math rocky, kind of nerd rocky. I really liked it. Really like it. Enjoyed this yesterday. And the other thing I played all the way through while taking a break from recording was Secret Oyster. Furtive Pearl. Jazz rock from Sweden, I believe. And parts of this were really good. Parts of it were kind of so-so. But again, the overall flavor of this music is what I like. So, once again, I want to applaud the maturity of the people in the vinyl community. I do think that we are setting an amazing example for the rest of this shitty, fucked up world. Because it is de rigueur for people to be uncivil and thoughtless and to jump to conclusions and to say the first dumb thing that pops in their heads. This is standard behavior for most people these days. And I love seeing us trying to rise above that. If anything, I think that it is part of me trying to be a good citizen by doing this. Those of us who still know what it's like to live, I'm going to say it like this, those of us who still know what it's like to be civil and kind to others, we need to pass that on. One last thing about race. Due to my experience and my age here in America, I could be very, very angry. And at one time I was, and I still do have some anger, but I could be very hateful towards people merely because of what you look like. I've risen above. Can you?